Whedon would complain about continuity hampering his writing, though. Meanwhile, Marvel was about to embark on one of its most daring moves to date when Avi Arad and David Maisel crafted a new Marvel Studios from a $525 million loan from Merrill Lynch, this time with the aim of making the movie adaptations themselves, thus allowing Marvel to keep all the money. It only got $10 million from Spider-Man in 2002. As collateral, the movie rights to the characters of Ant-Man, the Avengers, Black Panther, Captain America, Cloak and Dagger, Hawkeye, Nick Fury, Doctor Strange, the Power Pack, and Shang-Chi were put up, a daring move. Initially, Marvel sought a distribution deal with Universal, who still had the rights to Namor and the Hulk, but then went to Paramount when that fell through. They did get the film rights to the Hulk back, in exchange for Universal having distribution rights to any solo Hulk movie, along with Iron Man's rights from New Line Cinemas. However, as soon as they were set up, Arad clashed with how to release the films and the strength of the characters selected with Maisel. Ike Permiller sided with Maisel, leading to Arad to be bought out for $59 million. David Maisel was named the chairman of Marvel Studios, with Kevin Feige, Arad's former second-in-command, named president of co-productions on March of 2007. On May 2, 2008, Iron Man was released to huge critical acclaim and financial success, eventually grossing $585.2 million worldwide against a $140 million budget, showing that the plan was starting to pay off. Most daring, in an after-credits scene, Tony Stark meets Nick Fury, played by Samuel L. Jackson, as envisioned by Mark Miller and Brian Hitch back in The Ultimates, who wants to discuss the Avengers Initiative. Iron Man wasn't just a standalone film, but part of a larger cinematic universe that would soon include Thor and Captain America in 2011. This also led to the Marvel's The Avengers on May 4th, 2012, which would be one of the most successful movies of all time, grossing $1.5 billion worldwide against a $220 million budget. Throughout them all, Stan Lee made a cameo in each one, becoming a trademark of the MCU, along with that after-credits scene. Much to the chagrin of the movie theater employees, who now have to wait till after the credits are over to start cleaning the theaters. As a former movie theater employee myself, I'm glad I missed this phase of movies. It did lead to the creators starting to sue again, with many settling, including the Kirby family, much of it due to Marvel's new owner, Disney. Disney bought Marvel on December 31, 2009 for $4 billion. Reportedly, this arose in an executive meeting in which the company discussed the problem of having to pay Marvel millions in licensing fees for cartoons like Wolverine and the X-Men, which were nonetheless their most popular shows in their channels like Disney XD. Then one executive asked, "Why don't we just buy Marvel?" Sure enough, the wheels started turning, leading to the House of Ideas joining the House of Mouse. Of interesting note, Stan Lee always wished for Marvel to be like Disney, eventually having theme parks in their own TV channels. The move did benefit Marvel, as it was now part of a larger corporation to protect it during the downtimes, as Warner Brothers did for DC during the speculation crash. Along with getting new and old properties, as when Disney bought Lucasfilms in 2013, the rights to Star Wars comics naturally reverted back to Marvel after being held at Dark Horse for nearly 2 decades, with the first Star Wars Marvel's comic books being published in 2015. The benefits to Disney were as obvious as well, as Marvel films quickly became the highest grossing in the company's history, along with Disney finally breaking into the young male market. Back on the comics front, the Ultimate line of comics was brought to an end as part of the Secret Wars miniseries of 2015, which did see the character of Miles Morales, the new Ultimate Spider-Man, being brought into the regular Marvel Universe. Created by Brian Michael Bendis and Sarah Pacelli in the Ultimate Fallout number 4 in August of 2011, he quickly became a fan favorite, as even getting his own animated movie, Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, from Sony, set to be released in December of 2018. And that is where Marvel Comics is today, part of the larger Walt Disney Corporation. The movies and TV shows were still successful. Avengers Infinity War originally grossed $2 billion worldwide, while the comics still rule the stands. Now that is part of the Disney Corporation, that is likely to continue for a long time to come, as like Warner Brothers is to DC, it has a larger corporate company to protect it. It has been a crazy and wild ride for the company, which today remains the premier comic book company in America. I would like to thank my chief source for these episodes, the excellent Marvel Comics, The Untold Stories by Sean Howe, a superb history on the company that is a must-read for any comic book fan. And now it is November 15th, 2018. Time for some news and reviews. Sadly, this episode comes after hearing, of course, the death of the late, great Stan Lee, the architect of much of Marvel in these last few episodes on November 12th. He lived to the ripe old age of 95, survived by his daughter, and of course preceded by his wife Joanne, who passed away last year. His legacy is, well, is hard to touch, but the outpouring of all the celebrities and people that work with Stan Lee, his family and friends, have been shown just how much of a legacy he had in both comic book, medium, and entertainment in general. He will be missed, and I can't wait. Hopefully he's up there making up with Steve Ditko and Jack Kirby now, and they're kind of getting along, though. Let's be honest, their fights led to some pretty good storytelling, too. And with that, it kind of leads into my favorite comic book of the week, which was Mr. Miracle, number 12, by Tom King and Mitch Gerads, which concludes one of the best runs of this character since, well, Jack Kirby's original run, the character's creator, as Scott Free and his wife Big Barda deal with the news of her being pregnant again, this time with a daughter, and in a nice twist, her name is perfect. For those wondering, without being a spoiler, it ties in perfectly with her son's name. And while Miss Gerard's art is beautifully detailed, continuing that brilliant 9-panel layout that has densely packed with details and storytelling. Of course, King doesn't answer the big question whether or not this whole thing was a hallucination or not, but he adds a perfect emotional gut punch. It's just a great read from beginning to end. Easily one of the best comic books DC has put out in years. And with that note, we conclude this run on the history of Marvel Comics, and next week we jump to DC with the history of the comic book of The Watchmen, arguably the greatest comic book ever made. Till then, go out and enjoy yourself a good comic book.